go to your driveway, look at your car, and say, gee, how many wheels does my car have? And the answer is 4. The 5th wheel is in the trunk. How many wheels does your car have? The last time I checked, my car has 4 wheels. Now, why is this important? It's important because it's a metaphor, an analogy of a situation in life that appears from time to time for certain people. Suppose you are single and you have been unattached for some period of time. And suppose you're relatively normal, that there's nothing crazy about you or nothing that is ugly about you, but it's just, as luck would have it, you are the 5th person. And when I say the 5th person, I mean the 5th wheel. Couples may ask you to accompany them on trips to a restaurant or even trips out of town. But how do you feel? How do you feel when you are always available to go as a 5th wheel? The 5th wheel is the one that is the odd one, the extra one in the group, because he is unattached. He or she is unattached. And that brings up certain issues that have to be addressed. If you have ever been a 5th wheel, how do you feel when you are with these people? And I'm talking about not just once in a while, but let's say you're invited by these 2 couples who genuinely do like you, but you are there because they have asked you to come there. And frankly speaking, you don't really have anything else to do. So you go with them. But after a while, one becomes self-conscious about being the 5th wheel. You look around and you see at the table, there are 2 couples there, and there are couples everywhere, and you seem to be the only single person there. You start to feel like the odd man out. It's always a very difficult situation to be in if this is a continuous thing where you're being asked out as the 5th person. It's one thing to always be available. It's another thing to always be available as a 5th wheel. The people who are inviting you out, whether they realize it or not, often have feelings toward you that of pity or sorrow, and that they invite you just to be hospitable or just to be nice. And on the surface of it, there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is how do they really look at you? They look at you as the odd man out, which means somehow you're with them, but you don't belong. You're different. You are uncoupled. They are coupled with a spouse or a girlfriend or a boyfriend. And you don't have anyone to accompany you. Makes you feel kind of left out. Or as we say, the 5th wheel. Remember, a car rides on 4 wheels. The 5th wheel is in the trunk. Get the point? Even if you have nothing else to do, from time to time, I believe it is healthy to decline an invitation as a 5th wheel. Even if you tell them you have another thing to do, even if it's nothing more than staying at home and reading a good book, it is better than portraying an image that evokes pity, evokes sorrow. You might want to ask these people who are always asking you out if they know someone who they could introduce you to. Interestingly enough, some people will introduce you to someone, but others will not, even though you may know that they do know some people. At that time, one has to ask himself or herself, why? They are very comfortable with you being a 5th wheel. There could be many reasons for that. One is to be a buffer between the members of the couple because they really don't get along that way and don't get along that well, shall I say. That could be one possibility. But the problem is, it's just not a good idea to make a habit of going along and tagging along as a fifth wheel. I don't think anything good comes of it. I think people sort of look down upon you if you're always accepting with bated breath their invitations to accompany you as a fifth wheel. So ladies and gentlemen, remember, every time you think about being invited out as a fifth wheel, go to your driveway, look at your car and say, gee, how many wheels does my car have? And the answer is 4. Remember, the car rolls on 4 wheels. The fifth wheel is in the trunk. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, I remind you, drink! And drink abundantly from the fountain of life. See you next time!